Of an average programmer. Today we will solve Leetcode's problem 49, which is group anagrams. What we need to do is that we need to return a bidimensional array of strings in which we are putting all the different groups that are possible from our input. So how are we going to group our words? They are going to be grouped based on their anagrams. An anagram is a word or phrase that is formed by arranging the letters that are in a word or a phrase, and we can use each word only once. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you an example over here, and then we are going to think about a solution. Okay, so this is our input. We have eat, tea, 10, 8, nat, and bat. Okay, so the first thing that we need to have in mind is what is an anagram. Okay, so what we can do in an anagram is to arrange the letters, and the second requirement is that we can use the original letter once. Okay, so this is the output. Why this is the output? Because, for example, in nat and 10, we are using the same letters, but they are ordered in a different way. We have n at the beginning of nat, and then we have n at the end of 10, and then we have a at the same position, which is the second position in nat, and also a in the second position in the word 10, and then we have t, which is at the end of the word nat, but t in the word 10 is at the first position. Okay, so we are using all the original letters once. We are using one n, one a, and one t. So that is why they are part of the same group. Okay, so sorry, my dog pushed my camera. Okay, so that's why we have them in this group. But there are two things that we need to think of first. The first thing is that how are we going to be identifying all the possible groups? We need to process, obviously, the words in order to find all the different groups. Then we need to iterate over the words to categorize each word to its respective group. Okay, so how are we going to be identifying all the possible groups? A good way of doing this is obviously using some data structures. Okay, so we have two possible data structures for the solution. We can use an array or a set, or we can use a hash map. Okay, so but we need to think how are we going to be using these data structures. For example, if we are using an array, we will need to iterate again over the different groups to push our word into its respective group. Okay, but that may be costing a lot of time, because we will have to also see the different groups that are stored in our bidimensional array. Okay, that's the same case for our set. A good thing about set is that we can say if a value exists real quick, because we have the has function in a set, but that is not actually helpful in this situation. I don't know if it's really useful to use a set or an array. If we're able to get to map a group based on the index, then we can use an array. But I think that there is an easier solution, which is just using a hash map. Why using a hash map? Because we know that in a hash map we have a key and a value. Okay, so which is going to be the key? We need to think of in that. How are we going to get a key based on the word? Okay, so the first solution that you might think, okay, for example, I will have bat. I will be processing bat. Okay, but we can say that we have B one time, then we have A one time, and then we have T one time. Okay, so this could be a possible key. But what is the problem with this key is that we don't actually need to be counting the number of letters, because if we have bat, we can say that we know in this case that we have one B, one A, and one T, because if we had like bat, then we will be repeating T twice, and that will mean that we have two T's. Okay, so it's actually not worth to add the counter of each word, and obviously that is going to be also costing us some time complexity. So it's not worth to put the amount of letters that are in a word. Okay, so what is another restriction that we can have? For example, in these two words, net intent, we can say that we will have one N, one A, and one T, but how are we going to get the same key based on these two letters? The best way to do this is by sorting the string. So we can say that we will have A and T. This is going to be the key for this word, and we can also share that exact key for the second word, which is going to be this one. So we can access to our group real quick with just getting the key. Okay, so we will have to sort the characters that are in a string. Okay, that is going to be helpful for us to access the Anagram group, and then we can push our original word into that group, and after that we can just pass all the values from our hash map to a bidimensional array. Okay, so I hope this was clear for you, and now let's get to the code. So I'm going to be using a mutable variable for my Anagram groups. I'm going to be naming this in this way because I think it's more intuitive. And as I mentioned, we have to make a key. So that key is going to be a string, and then we will need to push our string to a group, which in this case is going to be just an array of a string. I'm going to initialize my my hash map, or my map in this case for Typescript. So I'm going to be initializing my map over here. This is the way to do it. And then I'm just going to create also my result variable, which is going to be a bidimensional array. A good way to declare this is with this notation. So this is going to be an empty array because we don't have any values. Let's not forget to return our result, because sometimes when we are coding, we forget to return our result. Okay, then I'm going to be using a for each because I don't want to do anything crazy with the index. So that is why I'm using a for each loop, and I'm going to iterate over my words. First, I'm going to be changing the name of the input to words because I think it's more intuitive, and I will be iterating over my words with a for each loop, and I'm going to get the key. So since I'm not going to be mutating the key, I'm just going to declare it as an immutable variable. So that's why I'm going to be saying that key is going to be of type string, and I'm going to be saying that I'm going to split my word to get all the characters. Then I'm going to sort my characters, and at the end I'm going to be returning that into a string. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm doing first the split of my word. I will have characters, only characters at this point. Then I will sort my characters, and then I will make that array of strings again into a string. Okay, so that is going to be my key. And after that, I'm just going to be declaring my Anagram group, which is going to be an empty array. And then I'm going to check if I have a group for that specific key, then I will put that group into this variable that it's empty. Okay, so I will have an if statement that is saying that if I have a group for that key, I will substitute my empty Anagram group with the value of that key group. Okay, so I'm just going to get that over here. And if I don't have a group, then it's going to be an empty array, and I can push directly my word into my Anagram group. Anagram group, I'm going to push my word. Okay, so after this, I'm just going to store or to save the new Anagram group. So I'm going to say that in my anagrams groups, I'm just going to set or update the group to that key by doing this. And that's all. So at the end, I will have all my words categorized based on the anagram. And then I just need to push all the different arrays in my result variable. So for doing that, I can do a for each loop to the anagrams groups map, or I can just use an iterator. I will prefer to use an iterator because I think it's a little quicker. So I'm just going to be declaring my iterator based on my anagram groups values, and then I will have a for each, a normal loop starting at 0, and then I will stop after I'm getting at the end of my anagram groups map. And I will increase I in each iteration, and then I will just push my values into my result array. So I'm just going to put the value, iterator, next, and the value. And so that should be good. Let's run our code to see if this is working. Okay, so this is accepted, and if I submit this should be passing. Okay, perfect. So that was all for today's video. Hope you liked it and I hope it was useful for you. I'm going to leave the code also in the comment section, so don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to my channel. See you in another video. Bye.